Are you looking for book recommendations because you've got some extra time during the holidays and are looking to improve your life before 2021 begins? Or are you trying to figure out some Christmas presents for your friends last minute? Well, I've got the video for you. What's up everyone, my name's Zoe Psykowski. Welcome back to my motivational YouTube channel, Zoe's 2 Dots on Life. So the reason I decided to do a book haul video for the first Vlogmas is because I think that it's a perfect time to just pick up a book and start reading before the new year begins. A lot of people have a little bit more downtime now, so now would be a great chance to buy one of these books. In addition, if you're looking for gifts for your family or friends, then maybe you can choose one of these if they are someone who likes self-development. Yeah, I'm gonna go through my top 10. Making this video just made me want to reread all of these books. I love each and every one of them. It was really hard to rank them, except for like the 1 and 2 and 3, that was easy, but all the other ones, like, hard to rank. So yeah, stay tuned to find out the book that has totally changed my life. Okay, book number 1, The Happiness Equation by Neil Pascaria, let's go with that. So I love this book. It just relates to happiness, relating to work-life balance or school-life balance, and the chapters are really short, and he has like a ton of really great like visuals in here too. And the 2 main lessons I got out of this was, one of them was about happiness relates to how you structure your time. So he talks about how in life we have 168 hours per week. So if you break that into 3 buckets, that would be 56 hours per each bucket. So bucket 1, 56 hours go to sleep. Bucket 2, 56 hours probably go to either work or school. And then your last bucket, you decide how you invest that time. So you can invest that time in hanging out with your family and friends, or like working on a personal project, or like pursuing one of your hobbies, your goals, your dreams. And we have to be very intentional about those other 56 hours because that sets us up for a successful life. But it's also important to have that 56-hour school bucket or work bucket because it kind of gives us like pressure and like deadlines, and it holds us accountable to, hey, we only have these 56 hours per week, so let's give it our all. So the second lesson is he created this thing called the Space Scribble. So basically this Space Scribble has different categories of like how we're structuring our time. So he creates this Space Scribble, and this is what it looks like. So basically the high thinking and high doing box is called the burn box, and that's when you're doing a whole bunch of like work, schoolwork, or your job, and you need to watch out how much time you spend here because you can burn out. But it also feels great to be in this place because you feel so productive. And then we have the bottom left box, which is the space, it's called the space box. And that one is basically where you're doing nothing. Like you're going on vacation, you're at the beach, like you're not thinking about anything. So, but we also need to watch how much time we're spending in this box as well. And then we have the high thinking and low doing, which means you're kind of in a reflective mode. You're either journaling or reading or just kind of reflecting on something that's happened to you. In addition, we have the low thinking and high doing, and that's where we're really physically engaged. We're hiking, we're running, we're in the gym, whatever it is. Not really thinking, we're more doing and taking action. So he says that happiest people kind of can jump around in between all of these different boxes. So that's book number 1. Book number 2 is this one, Light is the New Black, and this is by Rebecca Campbell. I absolutely love this book so much. Basically, Rebecca tells her own personal story about all of her life challenges that she went through, and it literally caused her to hit rock bottom. And when she thought she was at rock bottom, she found rock bottom. So she talks about how in life it's essential to hit rock bottom. And this is because we can really connect inside ourselves, because the only person we have is ourselves. And in order to do that, we have to crack ourselves open when we fall. And the world needs us cracked open because that can emit like our best selves, and we can really find our true meaning in this world. So she literally writes, I pray that you hit rock bottom, the most painful time of your life. I pray that you feel alone, isolated, and deserted. And then I pray that you choose to gather up the pieces with no idea how and in what order, and then begin putting them back together one by one just right. She really thinks that the world needs you cracked open. Be open to being cracked open, wide open. It is the difficult times that help us grow in leaps and bounds and in ways we could only dream possible. But first they have to crack us open, and sometimes it hurts like hell. It's nature's way, and whether you let it happen or not, it's going to happen. So surrender to the process and let life do its thing. It'll be worth it. It's how the light gets in. So this book, I love how it's structured. Again, really short chapters, some poems, some quotes, and you know, it's really about like finding your soul purpose and your soul calling. Next one, The Subtle Art of Not Giving an F by Mark Manson. I love this book. It is straight to the point, very direct, and I thought it was just about like not caring about anything at all, because I mean, like, look at the title. But it's about choosing to care about what's important. Like, why should you be caring about something that has happened in the past that's over, or just like something that literally doesn't affect your life like whatsoever? Like, why are you having an argument about it? Why are you putting your attention, your time, and your energy towards it? And how you are the only one that's responsible for your decisions and your actions. He writes about how he kind of hit a place in his life where he was just sitting on the couch playing video games every single day, and he didn't know where to start, how to begin. And he literally writes a quote: "Don't just sit there, do something. The answers will follow." And I love this because sometimes when I don't know what to do, if I feel stuck, like the only answer is just start taking action. Like, even if you don't know what that action is, like start, and then the answers are going to follow. And it says action isn't just the effect of motivation, it's also the cause of it. So you don't need to wait to feel motivated to take action. You need to start taking action, and then the motivation will follow, and it just is a whole snowball effect from there on out. Okay, next up, it's The 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. I love this book. It is very short, very easy to read, not many words per page, as you can see here, maybe. And this book kind of talks about how it's very poetically written too. It flows really easily. You could probably read it in like one sitting, but it is a lot to take in. It basically talks about kind of the society that we're living in, and how there's so many rules and conditions, and like we have been kind of trained that we need to please people, and like conditions about how we live our lives. And he writes this book called The 4 Agreements to make 4 new agreements with yourself in order to kind of break those old agreements that cause unhappiness, hate, and jealousy. So the 4 agreements are: 1 is being impeccable with your word, which means like speaking with integrity and actually doing what you say you're going to do. Next up is not to take anything personally, because what everyone else does is because of themselves and it doesn't have to do with you. The next one is don't make assumptions. I've learned this. I remember like one time my one friend, I thought something was wrong that I did, and then it turned out it was because something was going on in his life that he was upset. So it's about not making assumptions. And then always do your best, even when your best is 70%, because like you're sick or you're just not feeling it that day. Like, give your 70%. So this book definitely will always stick with me. Alright, next up, The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. I'm so bad at like these authors' names, but I love this book so much. This one's a little different than the other ones. It's more of like a fictional story rather than like a non-fiction book, but it has like the same kind of messages about like the law of attraction and self-development as well. So I'm not gonna give away like the plot or anything. I don't want to ruin it for you guys, but the point is that everything happens for a reason, and you just need to trust the journey and the process of your life. The one thing that like I read this book probably a couple years ago, but its themes and messages have still stuck with me. And my favorite takeaway was when he was on this journey he was on, he had to kind of work in this one random store. And in the moment, it's like, why am I here? Why am I working this? Why am I not at my end goal? But you need to like enjoy the journey, trust the process. Like you are exactly where you need to be, and you are gonna look back and realize one day, and like that step of your journey is crucial in order to get you to your end result and where you need to be. All right, next up, You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero. I think this is a really great book to start with if you're new to self-development. I think that it covers a lot of different themes relating to like the law of attraction, positive thinking, gratitude, mindfulness, meditation. It hits all the topics, and it kind of tells you them directly, just like The Subtle Art of Not Giving an F. I feel like they're very kind of similar in the way that you're spoken to, but this one is just like, why are you sitting around and not pursuing your dreams and your best life? It's like, it really motivates you to just want to get up and like just change your life for the better. She's really real, down-to-earth kind of person in this book. She opens up about how like she was kind of going through the motions, living her life. Like she'd have some flare-ups of like awesomeness in her days, but she just felt like there was something inside of her that wasn't being fulfilled. So she writes this book about how she changed that and how she changed her life. And it's all about like opening up your mindset to realize that you can do big things. Like, for example, she writes, when you up-level your idea of what's possible and decide to really go for it, you open yourself up to the means to accomplish it as well. So we have to go from wanting to change our lives to deciding to change our lives. Next up, we have A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle, and this book is so deep, and it took me so long to read this because there's so much content in this book that just blows your mind. So I highly recommend reading this book once in your lifetime. Like, you've got to read this book. So basically it talks all about how the ego fuels like our human tendency to hold on to pain from the past. So it's all about like trying to break free from that and like living in the moment without any attachments to the external world. So it's more about like accepting things rather than attaching to your ego, which leads to like unhappiness and anger and jealousy. So rather than thinking about, oh, this is how I would like life to be and why isn't it like that, and then getting upset and angry, versus, you know what, this is how it is. Like, attach from the external and like look inside of yourself for happiness rather than constantly searching for things outside and wondering why things aren't the way that you would like them to be. So yeah, I can't even summarize. I don't even know how to summarize this book, so I think you're just gonna have to go read it yourself. Next book, oh my gosh, Atomic Habits by James Clear. I love this book so much. I've literally read it like twice in the past year. Like, highly recommend to every single person out there. So basically, this book is all about how small habits over time kind of compound and lead to big results in the end. So I don't even know where to start. We need to forget about like setting goals, and instead of setting like an end goal, it's like, how do you get there? We need to set up systems and like structures in our life. So if you want to become fit, rather than just constantly thinking about like, oh, the end goal, it's so overwhelming, I'll never get there. Like, okay, what's something little you can do every single day? And then, you know what, one day, it's just gonna like happen. There's a story in here about, if you think about an ice cube, right? An ice cube will melt when the temperature gets higher than 32 degrees Fahrenheit. So when you're at the like 27, still frozen, 28, frozen, 29, frozen, 30, 31, and then you get to like 32, right? And it starts to melt in 33. It's like, that's the breaking point. So that's just like our habits. We need to constantly stick with them, because one day you're gonna just see the result. And people tend to give up like right when they're almost there, right? They didn't see the results, so they just stopped. But they were so close. If they would have continued, they, you know, would have succeeded. And it's about kind of like attaching yourself to the identity of the person you want to become rather than just the goal. So for example, rather than saying like, I want to write a book, like that is a goal. Think, you know what, I am a writer. I am a writer. What would a writer do? How would a writer act today? What action would they take? Or just like if you want to lose weight, rather than thinking, oh, I need a diet and like a workout plan, which you can have, but if you adopt the mentality of, what would a healthy person do, it's going to be easier to reach that goal. And how like every time you do something, it's like a vote towards the person you want to become, and as you give yourself more votes, you can attach yourself a little bit more strongly to that identity. It literally gives like an exact structure of like how to create a good habit, how to break a bad habit, which I love that. I absolutely love it. And then there's this other, there's a graph. There's so many awesome like graphs in this book, and yeah, if you read this, you need to like read like a chapter per day. I made it a habit to read this book. Sorry, I could talk about this book forever. The Plateau of Latent Potential. Just take a moment to look at this real quick. Like what you think you should happen, like it's just like a linear straight line, versus what actually happens is like it's a very slow progression, but once you like hit that breaking point, that's when you just see the results. So you just gotta stick with it though. And finally, my 1 and 2 books kind of go together, so I'm just gonna do that. So we have The Power and The Secret by Rhonda Bryn, I don't know, one of the two. These books have changed my life, especially The Secret. I recommend reading The Secret first and then reading The Power. They really are very similar theme-wise, but The Power just really like reinstates everything that The Secret like talks about. The Secret like lays the foundation. This is the book that got me into self-development, and yeah, ever since I read this book, like, I'm not kidding you, I would not be the person who I am today if it wasn't for this book. Like 100% wouldn't be myself if it wasn't for this book. All about the law of attraction, which basically says how you kind of create your life through the thoughts that you think. It's all about how you need to choose positive thoughts and positive energy to create the life of your dreams and your reality, and just believing in the end result of what you want is how it's going to come to you. So yeah, it's totally changed my life, and I recommend everyone reading it. Like, I just love how it looks too. Look how cool the pages are. It's like this ancient looking book, and it's also on Netflix too if you want to watch the documentary of it. Same effect, but yeah, shout out to Evan for getting me this book. So it's changed my life forever. It literally says, your life is in your hands. No matter where you are now, no matter what has happened in your life, you can begin to consciously choose your thoughts and you can change your life. There's no such thing as a hopeless situation. Every single circumstance of your life can change. And I think that the power of your thoughts are so important, because your thoughts then dictate your next action. And if you start taking action, that's when you're going to see change in your life, and how you're going to attract things to you, that because you're on like a good frequency of thinking, more good is going to come to you. Whereas like if you're having a bad day or like a bad morning, like you stub your toe, then you get stuck in traffic, like it just seems like a downward spiral effect, and it's the law of attraction. Rather, like if you have a good day, you start off, you get out of bed, you're like, you know what, today's gonna be a good day. If you just decide that from the moment you wake up, then watch all of these positive things be attracted to you into your life. It also talks about the power of like visualization, and that just means taking a little bit of time every day to think about what you want in life and what your goals are, and like feeling like what it would be like to have that, because that's going to inspire you to take that action to get there. Definitely read this, and also read The Power after that. And I think she just released a new book, and I might be getting it for Christmas. I guess we'll find out. So yeah, I hope you guys liked this video. Please comment down below if you love any of these books. I am literally obsessed. I think I'm gonna reread one of them right now because I love them all so much, and I think I need to be reminded of some of the themes and messages, because when I read them, they applied to a different time of my life, and now I can apply them to where I am right now in life. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you for 2 Dot Tuesday.